Ready, Faye.
All right, so we're live on YouTube right now. I'm Faye D'Souza. Thank you for joining us. Basically, we've had a lot of questions that have come in from people who say that they haven't actually been able to make the rent on their offices at this point, because obviously we've gone a whole month without a single day's work. Here's the question. Given the way our leases are designed in India, is there room for us at this point as business owners to get a rent holiday? Can we use or invoke the clause of force majeure? What does the legality or what does the law say about situations like this? Now, I have with me a very fantastic guest, and I also want to point out that we will be taking questions live as well. So if you have a question about your business, if you have a question about the legalities of what can and cannot be done right now, pop in and leave it in the chat box, and I'll take those questions to my guest. My guest is Mr. Amit Khemka. Mr. Amit Khemka is a very respected lawyer in Delhi. He's also someone who specializes in economic offenses, in corporate law, and in the kind of law that we really need to deal with when we're talking about what we're talking about today. Mr. Khemka, first of all, thank you so much for giving me time and for giving my audience time right now and having this conversation with us. Right. Are you getting a lot of requests, or are you getting a lot of questions as well from clients who are asking you what they can do in this current situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had lost the connection. So could you just repeat your question, Faye?
Yes. So my question is this: are you getting a lot of questions from clients and from businessmen right now who are trying to figure out legally what can be done in the COVID situation with the payments that are due?
Absolutely. The situation is terrible. On one hand, there is an order by the central government that they must pay to all their employees, especially the lower grade employees like fourth grade or third grade employees. So they must pay to them, is even though they are not able to do any businesses. And situation becomes all the more worse because there are huge rentals these people have to pay for a premises which they are keeping locked. So absolutely, if you see from the humanitarian angle, everybody is worried. People are worried what is going to happen to their businesses later on. Look at the hospitality industry, for example. We are getting lots and lots of queries from the hospitality industry. Now, these people, even if the lockdown is open tomorrow, there is no likelihood of many people going to flock the restaurants or the clubs or the lounges. So they are going to have a slowdown of business, even when the lockdown is over. So right now the situation is that they have to keep it completely closed, and then the situation would be that they would be running it on losses for quite some time. It could be 6 months to a year before the things become normal. So that it is a point of worry for everybody, including and let me tell you, the whole of the situation of what we call as force measure is based on something which was not foreseen. A person, when he was entering into a contract, and if he could not, there was no way for him to visualize that something like that can happen, then he should not be bound by that particular agreement. So that the whole hypothesis of force measure is based on that. And I mean, what to talk of a businessman, I don't see even scientists were able to visualize this, even the doctors, because if you remember, initially in the month of January, there were lots of interviews happening on the TV channels where the doctors were saying that, look, we have had SARS before also. This is SARS family only. So even doctors had not even visualized that this is going to be the intensity of this particular thing. So to my mind, Government will have to come out with a legislation on it. There will have to
Yes.
be some, some solutions will have to be given to the business community. Otherwise, we are facing, or we are staring in a situation, in the face of a situation where our businesses are going to crumble like anything.
Well, Mr. Khemka, here's the thing. Let me just break this down and take it piece by piece, if I may. Let's assume I'm a business person who has a showroom of some sort, or I have a shop or an establishment, or I have an office. Obviously, no business has been conducted for the last 1 month, and it's likely that the next few weeks might also continue in the same fashion. Can I invoke force majeure on my lease contract because I'm unable to pay rent for these 2 months?
Now, look, when you are talking of force majeure, you are talking of two things. Number one is, can he get abatement of rent? Can he get a rent holiday? If I say it in the in the common man's language, can he get a rent holiday for the period he was not able to use the premises because of the restrictions imposed by the government? As the law stands, as the Indian law stands as on date, as the judgments of the, especially of Delhi High Court, has been very, very proactive in these kind of matters. So as Delhi High Court's law laid down, and which has been confirmed in one or two cases even by Supreme Court, not by a speaking judgment, but when the matter went to Supreme Court, the Supreme Court dismissed the appeal. So in a way, Supreme Court confirmed that law. As the law stands, there is no question of a rent holiday. There is no question of abatement of rent. You cannot say that for this period I will not pay the rent. The logic given is that you are continuing to be in the possession of that premises. If you think that this premises has become unusable for you, you are free to surrender the tenancy. And if you surrender the tenancy, then in that case, you can take help of the law which is there, Section 108 of Transfer of Property Act and Section 56 of Contract Act. But in the case of leases, it is the Section 108E of Transfer of Property Act which is applicable. So one could say now, after 1.5 months have passed, the things, there is no hope that the businesses are going to be restarted in near future. Everybody can understand that this lockdown is about to be extended. So that would be probably the most sensible thing for the government also. So in these circumstances, what the tenant can do is he can surrender his tenancy. He can say that, look, it is force majeure situation. It is a situation where the very foundation of our agreement has ceased to exist. I'm not able to use the property because of the government order, and therefore I'm surrendering the tenancy. That is the only situation where the tenant can get away from the liability of paying the rent.
But Mr. Khemka, that is actually an untenable thing to do, because let's assume, for argument's sake, I'm a business person who has a showroom, a two-wheeler showroom, just for argument. I cannot surrender the lease on that two-wheeler showroom because it will have my inventory, it will have my paperwork, it will have, it has, stuff in the go down. So, and during the lockdown, it's impossible to actually go in and move everything out and move it into a different storage facility. So it's actually not possible for anybody to vacate a space at this point, which means that you're basically saying business people have no choice but to just continue paying rent.
I'm afraid, as the law stands, I am only giving you the situation as the law stands. We have, after we had these queries, there were so many seminars and others which people were addressing, and everybody was talking about it. So we had to go deeper into it. We had to fish out all the judgments on the issue. And then after almost studying for 10 days, we came to the conclusion that right now this is the legal situation as it stands. But as I said, that now after this is over, the courts as well as the government will have to be a little proactive on this. It cannot be, you are absolutely right, because the whole basis of force majeure is equity. It cannot be that because of such extraordinary circumstances, a person is not able to use the property. He has no way to get the money in. His huge investments, if the landlord has invested on the property in the shape of the real estate, this person, the tenant, has also invested a huge lot of money. Take example of restaurants. I mean, the huge investment is made in decorating, in furnishing the restaurant. So there are huge investment riding on of the tenant as well. So a situation is there where the court might be proactive later when these matters, because there are going to be huge amount of litigation now on these issues, because forget about whether he has to pay or not. He is not in a position to pay. Which
Yes.
of the things which he should do? Should he take care of the of feeding his employees who are solely dependent on him? Should he not take care of their families? Or should he be also donating to PM Care? And he is donating to so many because he's a good businessman. He's supposed to be a rich businessman. So society also expects him to distribute food packets around. And then you are told that, okay, you have to also pay the rent. Whether you are able to get any business or not, whether your revenues is there or not. So it is a very, very extraordinary situation. But unfortunately, I'm afraid that I can only tell you what the law is there as on date.
Mr. Khemka, here's the thing. So what if, as a business person, I'm unable to pay the rent, or I fail to pay the rent for 2 months? Can the landlord proceed against me? Is that criminal? Is that a civil offense? How will that play out?
It is certainly not a criminal offense if a person has not been able to pay the rent. Now, there are two consequences of non-payment of rent. One is that as a tenant becomes defaulter in payment of rent, the landlord can terminate the tenancy, and he can sue the tenant for vacation of the premises. Okay, and the second consequence can be that he can go in the court of law for recovery of the rent, together with the interest thereupon. Now, I don't really foresee many landlords actually terminating the tenancies, because if you look at it from business point of view, after this lockdown, there is certainly going to be a closure of many businesses. The availability of rent premises for rent is going to increase many fold. And then the natural impact is going to be that the rents are going to fall. So any landlord who has a particular tenant at, say, X rate of rent, and after the lockdown, when the rents are X minus Y, he is not going to risk losing this particular tenant. He will like to continue with that person rather than going for a new tenant who will pay X minus Y. So these business considerations are also going to weigh with the landlords. And as of now, what I have suggested to my clients is to keep the landlords in good humor. Not to go for, not to fight with them. Don't try to teach them the law. In our country, whenever you try to teach law, whether to the constable or to the Chief Justice of India, there is everybody wants to say, you are teaching me the law. Okay, so that is, please don't do that. Don't tell him that it is a force majeure. It is law says this, don't tell him that. Just tell him that what is it which you are going through. You even if you have to say it in writing, even if you have to terminate the tenancy based on force measure, my preference would be to tell the landlord that, look, sir, I am following the government's order, though that there are questions whether that order is legal or not, of paying the salaries to all my employees. I cannot check out any employees under the orders of the government. I don't want to check out my employees. I feel morally responsible for them. I want to
Yes.
help them out. And in this situation, I need your cooperation.
Right.
Because we all are in the same boat. Everybody is facing the brunt of it.
Forgive me for interrupting you, but fundamentally what you're saying is that there is no legal recourse or there's no legal option for a rent holiday of 1 month or 2 months. Your options are, one, to either surrender the property and move out of it and give it back to your landlord, or option to appeal to the good nature and the good humor of your landlord to give you a rent holiday, which he or she has the option of giving, if they want to, if they feel generous enough. And given the situation, it's likely that they may feel generous enough. So fundamentally, that's the advice that Mr. Khemka is giving us. We have a lot of questions, Mr. Khemka, if I may, with your permission, go through them. Not all related to the topic we're talking about. Zero Cool says, in his workplace, they've instructed him to take earned leave during the lockdown. So treat your lockdown as your earned leave. And that's his situation. Is that okay? Can the office ask you to do that? Is that legal?
I don't think office can send you on forced holiday. Forced leave, sorry. They cannot ask you to encash because earned leave normally are encashable in all the organizations. So it is your right to have the earned leave or not to have, or to get them accumulated. So when your organization is telling you that, I don't think it is legal. It is, but most contracts are actually there may be they have to stick to the contract. They cannot get away from the contract.
Yeah, so they can't ask you to go on forced leave or to use the lockdown as your leave. And remember, if they're asking you to use the lockdown as your leave, then there's no need to work from home. Also, let me see, there's another question here. The government should exempt income from house property, whether actual rent or deemed rent, for this assessment year. And that's a good point. That maybe if the landlords were given a tax holiday, they would be able to pass on that benefit to their tenants. There's another one who said importers are being asked to pay detention charges and ground rent charges by shipping lines and CFS for lockdown 2.0 instead of government order of waiver. Kindly help businesses and save importers. Mr. Khemka, this is actually unfortunate. Obviously, there will be, saman lying in various ports and in various godowns, and this is going to cost importers even more.
Yeah, so I think most of the importers will be able to use this as a force measure, even for this for the waiver of the detention charges, because after all, it is, you just cannot take the delivery of it. But there are certain products, or there are certain goods where the government has allowed importers to import and to all the other facilities. So there you may not be able to say that just because you can't sell them in the market, that is something different. So it would depend on what product it is, what is the material, whether the government is providing you the facility to transport it or to your godown or not. All those things will have to be seen before a final thing can be said.
Right. Arfaz Ahmed says the landlord has my advance deposit and is giving me an option to pay from that. Is that a good option, or is deferment of rent better? How can I approach him given the current situation to give me some concession? That might be a good idea. If the landlord has said, okay, I will deduct it from your deposit for the number of months you cannot pay. Mr. Khemka?
Yeah, that's fantastic actually on the part of the landlord, because that is the security which he has, that advance rent or security which he has. And if he's saying that, okay, till you can't pay, I'll just keep deducting out of that. So he is in a way giving you the deferment of payment of rent, and that's quite good. And what I'll suggest is that most people should negotiate a decrease in rent.
Yes.
The landlords also understand that after post lockdown, the rents are going to come down. Okay, so if a person says that, okay, look, I'm ready to pay, however, you please decrease the amount in this situation, because my income has decreased. I am not in a position to pay right now. So please decrease the amount. So you might have a very good deal if you negotiate a decrease with the landlord. You will not land up with a litigation. You will have a decrease in rent permanently. And that could be a good situation for both of us. It could be a win-win situation for the landlord and the tenant.
Yes. And also, do you agree at this point that maybe the government can announce some sort of tax benefits for landlords, provided they offer a rent holiday to their tenants?
No, see, the only tax holiday the government can announce is the non-payment, the payment of municipal corporation tax, the property tax, and maybe they can also announce income tax relief.
Offset,
That
yes.
if you are decreasing the rent for your tenant, or if you are giving a rent holiday, but look from where the government brings the money. We all know that government the first priority of the government has to be to fight this whole situation. And from where does the government bring all that money to give you all those holidays to? But American government has done it. In US, they have given huge packages for the businesses, and one business community should and can expect from the government that the government will come out with some kind of, and some of the relaxations have been given by the finance minister in the speech, where she said that about the paying the provident fund or paying the ESI, and all those things are there. But there's a limit to what the government can do. So it would be better that landlords also understand that post this clampdown, post this corona, you are going to have a situation where if your tenant goes away, if he dies, from whom do you get the rent? If his business comes to standstill, if his business becomes zero, where will you get your rent from? So it is it is sensible for the landlords to try to, for the tenants as well, to try to look for a middle path.
Right. Mr. Khemka, thank you so much for joining me today and answering questions of the audience and answering my questions. And of course, I do hope that you'll come back and you'll join us on this YouTube Live and answer more questions, as obviously we seem to be in what can only be described as a developing situation. And we're going to learn more and more about how over the next few weeks. Thank you so much.
Pleasure talking to you.
It's a pleasure to talk to you too. Amit Khemka there, a very senior, very respected lawyer of the Delhi High Court, answering questions on what options we have as entrepreneurs or business owners or shopkeepers on the rental. He fundamentally said that within the law, there's no option for the force majeure. But if you can perhaps appeal to the kind-hearted nature of your landlord to give you some sort of either a concession or a tax or a rent holiday for the next couple of months, it might be easier. But within the law, there's no option right now. All right, so leave us questions at the bottom of this chat if you have any more things that you'd like us to clear up. And every day, I'll attempt to bring you voices of people who will help us navigate the challenge of COVID-19, its impact on our finances, its impact on our business, its impact on our families, and on our health. So you leave me a note, tell me what you'd like to hear, who you'd like to hear from. We'll try and bring those voices onto this YouTube channel for you. Thanks for watching.